Hello, I'm Guion, and this is going to be a slightly different video. As some of you may have noticed, it's been quite a while since I last did a video, and with lockdown here in the UK and the recent fire break in Wales, doing model railway videos hasn't really been a big priority for me. I decided to take advantage of the extra time I had working from home to set up a new business, a model railway business called Model Tech, and over the past few months, I've been developing and I have released my first product, which is the ProTrack rail aligners. They've been really successful, so I just want to talk a little bit about the products themselves and what we have going forward. Let's get started. So here's the main product, the ProTrack rail aligners. These are the HO00 model, and you get 4 pairs in a pack. There's 8 pieces, so you can do 4 baseboard joints with them. And I've got some of the individual pieces here just to show you a couple of the features. So obviously we have these 2 large copper pads, and therefore soldering your rails to. So you can either solder them on the inside along this edge here, or you can solder them on the outsides. I just gave that option so that people who might want to have a cleaner looking piece of track work can solder on the inside. I personally want to do it that way, but some people might prefer to solder on the outside, a bit more like they would with traditional track. There's also then some holes here for track pins, so that you can pin them to the layout, and that will allow you to that will secure them to the baseboard. And we also have these 2 plated through holes, and these are for pickups, so you can solder your wires into these and pass them through your baseboard, underneath your baseboard to the next baseboard via whatever connector you want, and then wire them up to the second one. And that's going to allow for continuity of power between the 2 baseboards, a more consistent continuity of power there. So here we have 2 baseboard-like timbers. They're actually art boards from Hobbycraft, but they're uniform in size and really good for this as a demonstration piece. And you can see I've laid 3 joints of track using our rail aligners here, and even have a bit more of a complicated section here in the middle with the crossover for the 2 sets of points. So you can see that they do actually work at an angle. We don't recommend any angles greater than 20 degrees, just so that we don't expose too much of the rail aligner off the edge. Theoretically, they can get to 40 degrees, but again, really recommend going below that, because again, that exposed piece is quite vulnerable there. So the idea then is to just simply bring the 2 boards together and you push them together like so, and then just clamp. And that's now created a really nice seamless joint across all of the tracks. The idea with this piece, I'm going to get all the droppers fitted at some point and get them connected to each other underneath the baseboards, so that I can use this as a demonstration piece to show people how that's done and what they can expect from their rail aligners when they put them to use. You may have noticed this piece at the top here. This is actually a piece just to demonstrate the idea of a lift out section. So obviously with these, the overhangs would prevent you from lifting them out because they lock vertically against each other. But with this case, what we've done is offset the rail aligner joint, so it's on the fixed part, and you can see I can lift this out of position. So this would be my effectively my lift out section, and when it comes down into place, it locks it into place. No track solder in this one, but it should it should give you an idea of what, how you should expect it to work. So the range includes 6 different scales. So we'll start with the O gauge. So the O gauge, you only get 2 pairs with the O gauge, just because it's much more expensive for us to manufacture. So you've got 4 pieces, but that's enough to make 2 sets of joints. And with O gauge, it is a much bigger scale anyway. So That's kind of just there. You also need a 2mm spacer to bring them up to meet with Pico track. Decided on that just because there are some people out there who use 2mm copper clad for building their own track, so we wanted to make sure that these would be compatible with both cases. If you're using Pico track, you simply need to add a 2mm spacer, whether it's cork or plastic card or anything, would be fine, just to meet it, to get it to meet to the bottom of the Pico track rail. Moving on, we've got the 016.5. All the other sets have 4 pairs, they do, so it's only the O gauge that has the 2 pairs, but 016.5, which is narrow gauge 7mm scale. And we've got bullhead here, which is 00 bullhead, so those who do the new Pico bullhead track, this is exactly the sleeper spacing you need to match that track. And then obviously the 00 gauge, which we mentioned already, the 00/HO, they're compatible with both code 100 and code 75 track. No problems at all, this works with both of them. And we have 009, which is narrow gauge for 4mm scale, so it matches up with the previous 2. And yeah, these have been very popular with the narrow gauge people because they do a lot of baseboard module layouts. And finally we have, it's trying to get away from me, we have the N gauge. So we want to cover every scale, and yeah, N gauge kind of gets that broad spectrum. I know there's a couple of other gauges out there, TT 12mm to mention one. We might look at doing those in the future. It depends on the demand that's out there to justify us putting in the quantities to manufacture to actually produce that. But we want to try and cover as many gauges as possible, and I feel that the range we have right now with those 6 does cover a lot. I have had some requests as well for code 83, which is same gauge as 00, 16.5 or so mil, but the sleeper spacing is smaller. At the moment, I'm not really sure. We're not really in the US market. It's very popular in the US market, but if I got some entryway into the US market with it, then I might consider doing that as well. I mean, people comment down below if you have a particular size that you're interested in, let me know, and we'll always put it into consideration when putting new designs and developments in for future products.
We're also really excited to have been nominated for Innovation of the Year with Hornby Magazine's Model Railway Awards 2020. I've put the details in the description down below for the article on that and how you can vote, so it'd be really awesome if you show some support for us.
However, the rail aligners aren't the only product I've been working on. I've actually been working on 2 other products which we are about to launch, and I have them here with me. The first item is the this is the Model Tech 4 claw parts picker. It's really good for picking up components and things like screws when you're doing your loco maintenance. It's a very unique tool, but it would make a very great addition to your toolbox. And the other one is this. It's an addition to our Pro Track range. It is the Pro Track power indicator. So these work very much like your normal track testers that you've seen in the market, but with the additional feature that these can be soldered in line with your track. You can actually place these underneath the rails and solder them in place, which is great for things like fiddle yards and cassettes, where you would like to know the status of power on that. So we'll have a little closer look at those now. First, the Model Tech 4-claw grabber. It's very simple. You press the button at the top and these 4 claws come out the top. They've got some good grip on there. You can see it's grabbing onto my finger there. Actually hurts a little bit. But yeah, these are really good for grabbing screws when you're working on a loco and you want to pick one of the screws out, or when you're trying to put it in. I do know that sometimes you're putting in a screw, especially if it isn't a magnetic screw like a brass screw. In some cases with O gauge, I come across brass screws a lot. You can grab that screw, place it into the hole on the locomotive body or whatever, and get that into position, and then retract it and put your screwdriver in then to actually put it in. So these are really good for that. They can also be used for any case of modelling where you've got a part you want to grab and hold in position. Maybe you're applying glue to it or something and gluing it onto a piece. This can be used in that particular scenario as well, or even in the case of maybe you're doing some solder work with some brass kits, you could potentially grab onto the component with this as a aid for holding it without having to hold the component and burn your hands on the soldering iron. The other item then is the power indicators, and here they are, and they simply break out. You just cut them with a pair of cutters to free them from the frame, and it's really straightforward. They work with both DC and DCC. I've got a 9-volt battery here just to demonstrate. If you place them onto the track, they'll light up. In this case, it's lit green. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see that. Green, and if I change it around, it will go red. And if you're using DCC, they will actually light amber. That's just the green and red pulsing between the two as the DCC signal goes through the track. So they can be used either as a simple track tester where you place them on top of the track, like other track testers that are out there, or in our case you can actually solder them underneath the rails using the two pads on the top. You just place it down, place your track on top of it, solder it in place, and then it's a permanent fixture, part of the layout, really good for fiddle yards. And we also provide these 3D printed covers. Let me just cut one out here. And these just go over the top, like so. There we go. Yeah, it's on properly now. And that just protects the components to prevent any shorts, especially when you have it installed on the track. Maybe a loco derails or something, and the wheel just bridges a gap between one of the lights and the side of the track. It could blow the light, it could the LED, which obviously isn't good. And you'll still be able to see this illuminate underneath the 3D printed part. Actually, sometimes it's easier to see it. You can probably see there that red dot and that green dot there when it's on the other way, or it'll be amber when you're running with DCC, as I mentioned earlier. So those two will be coming very soon. They should be available in the coming days on our website, and they'll be in the retailers that we have listed. Some of them will be stocked there as well, so check them out as well as our website. All the details will be in the description down below for that. And yes, that's what we've got going. We've got more projects in the pipeline, hopefully for the future. 2021, we want to see a much bigger range of products come to market from us. So be sure to subscribe on the newsletter on the website. You can go straight to the bottom and fill out to subscribe to that for updates from us, or follow us on Facebook. We've got a Facebook page. Again, all of this will be linked in the description down below. So check all that out and see what we have in the future. So there we have it. This is our current lineup of products for Model Tech. They should all be available on the website very soon. Some of the rail aligners are on their way to get our stock replenished there, but these two are ready to go live on the website any day now. But the rest of the products will be available as well, the full range, very soon, very shortly. So make sure to check out the website, and any questions, feel free to get in touch with us. We're more than happy to answer any questions or queries you have on that. And yes, so thank you very much for watching this very different video. I hope to produce some more model railway videos at some point. So please stick around for that, but they're obviously not going to be as common as I'd like them to be, with a lot of work going into the business now. But yeah, be sure to like, comment and subscribe, and I will see you hopefully in the next one. Everyone keep safe, and bye for now.